Hola, we are very happy to be participate in the 8th International Conference of Community Psychology. We are Loreto Ditzel, Gisela Carrillo, Fernando Reyes, and Alejandra Villarroel, all whom are teachers and researchers from the Center of Study in Wellbeing and Social Coexistence of the Faculty of Psychology, Universidad del Desarrollo, Chile. This time, we share with you the study, Community Life at School Counts, Contribution of the Sense of Community at School to Life Satisfaction in Chilean Students.
Background. In recent decades, there has been a growing interest in the study of subjective well-being, a concept that refers to the positive or negative evaluations that people make about their lives. This interest also includes the study in children and adolescents, which has allowed the development of indicators that evaluate the subjective well-being and satisfaction with life. A new line of research relates the subjective well-being of children with different contexts. This enables personal, relational, and collective needs to be integrated into an ecological and multi-level understanding of subjective well-being. Recent studies have reported positive relationships between the sense of belonging of a community, the support received in the neighborhood, and the subjective well-being of its members. An important context for the lives of children and adolescents is the school. Researchers postulate that a sense of community develops in schools. This means feeling part of the school, perceiving an emotional connection with other students, and feeling that personal needs are being met through this belonging. Studies suggest that the sense of community at school is a dimension with the ability to promote well-being in students. The sense in community in the classroom has also been studied. The sense of community in the classroom describes the quality of belonging relationships among students in the classroom, the perceived influence, the emotional connection, and the satisfaction of needs. Research results reveal that the psychological dimension of being part of a classroom community is significantly related to perceived fairness, psychological well-being, collective feelings, and school climate.
In the framework of the antecedent exposed by Loreto, this research aims to know the impact of the sense of community at school on the overall life satisfaction of Chilean girls and boys, distinguishing components related to the classroom and those related to the school. This was a descriptive study by survey with probabilistic sample. This survey is applied in a standardized way in the different countries that make up the international study called Children's Worlds, developed by the International Society for Child Indicators. The sample included 1,047 students with 61% boys and 38% girls from 5th and 7th grade. 4 measurement tools were used: a student life satisfaction scale, overall life satisfaction, classroom sense of community in the school, and multidimensional scale of sense of community. The data analysis was developed through descriptive statistics, Pearson's correlation coefficients, and hierarchical multiple linear regression.
Our results. The instrument used, Classroom Sense of Community at the School, SOCC, a multidimensional scale of sense of community at the school, SOCS, presented general average within the expected range for equivalent samples. In general, a direct correlation coefficient was seen in every scale and dimension, with moderate and high correlation level with the expected direction. A stepwise regression analysis was used to determine the degree of association with the dimension of the classroom sense of community at the school scale, SOCC, and the sense of community at the school, SOCS, in relation to life satisfaction, taking the score obtained in the student life satisfaction scale, SLSS, and overall life satisfaction, OLS, as the dependent variable and the A factor of both scale and as the predictor. Sense of belonging, satisfaction of need, emotional connection, peer support for opportunity to influence for SOCC, and opportunity to integrative, emotional connection, and belonging for SOCS. The results of this analysis are presented in Table 2 and 3 respectively. Of all the variables used, only 2 of them were statistical significance as general life satisfaction predictor, explaining 13% of the variance of life satisfaction measured with the SLSS. The variables that are preserved in the model as predictor correspond to factor 1 of the SOCC that has been labeled sense of belonging and emotional links with peers, and factor 1 of the SOCS labeled opportunities for integration and need satisfaction. The model values are present in Table 2. When the independent variables in the life satisfaction measured through the single items, OLS, then along with the 2 independent variables already mentioned in the previous model, factor 3 of the SOCC scale that we have named support and emotional connection with peer and teacher, that together explain 25% of the change in the variance of overall satisfaction with life in the student in this sample. The result presented showed the importance of the sense of community within the classroom and school dimension as predictor of the general life satisfaction in a student.
Discussion. The dimension called sense of belonging and emotional connection with peers is the best individual predictor of the scale of sense of community in the classroom, and the dimension opportunities for integration and satisfaction of needs is the best individual predictor of the scale of sense of community at school. When the context is the classroom, the sense of belonging and emotional attachment to the peers group is the element that better determines their life satisfaction, more than other dimensions. Considering the age range of the sample, 10 to 14 years, it seems understandable that this aspect may be the most relevant for children, providing indications that in childhood, the behavior of sense of community is different from other age groups. When the context is the school, then the opportunities for integration and satisfaction of needs seems relevant. For this reason, the school should have initiatives in which students can get involved, where the student participates in the organization of events, and the school provides adequate support and counseling service, turns out to be a relevant factor. It seems that the function of the classroom are to generate safe environment and establish primary ties with peers and friends, and at the school level to be able to have opportunities to integrate into different activities and be supported.
These results are in line with various international studies where it's found that satisfaction with school and its dimension is directly related to the satisfaction with life. This is also associated with high academic and socio-emotional development achievements of students and lower level of internalizing or externalizing problems. This research contributes to a better understanding of those factors that conceptually constitute this socio-community dimension at the school and in the classroom.
For further contacts, our email are here. Thanks a lot for your attention. Best wishes from Chile and enjoy the Congress. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Chao, chao.
Gracias.
Gracias.